morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. Got everybody in the house. What's happening, guys?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Good morning.
And of course, before the show started, we were talking a little bit about the Storm, WNBA, and
Dominique Malunga. I'm sorry to cut you off, Bo, but Dominique Malunga makes the All-Star team. How Absolutely. About that? I thought it's kind of a shoe-in. I thought, but I'm glad she didn't get snubbed because she was well deserving.
Yeah, no, she's played fantastic. I thought the only thing that might have held her out was minutes. Or
missed games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those
like
early
she just hasn't
games
played a ton.
Yeah, those early games I think really was a question, but no, I think she's been playing super, man. She's been really looking really strong in the low post. You know, I got to get over this thing that thinking that rebounders, you know, in the WNBA have to be wide bodies. Like Dominique is still able, she's averaging over 7 rebounds a game, but I'm thinking like she's not going to be able to muscle anybody around because she's not a wide body. However, you can see her low body core is much stronger this year. As an example, last year when she used to kind of post up on the blocks or on the elbow, for example, she would post up, and by the time she stuck her hand out and got her the ball, like they then pushed her out to the 3-point line.
Sure.
That's not happening this season. She's able to stand there, hold her ground, and then be able to put a move on, which is I think is rather impressive. So kudos to Dominique Malunga for making the All-Star game.
I think some of that's credited to the players around her. When you think of last year, there was no drive to get rebounds, right? Like when the shot went up, the entire team was backpedaling. And so this year, even though they lose the rebound battle a lot of the time, there's a lot of fight to get to rebounds with this team, especially from players like Flage, right? And so Dom being a young player, seeing that type of drive to go get rebounds, I think is good because that just wasn't there last year. Now, they're still not a top rebounding team or anything like that, but you see,
I don't know that they have the personnel. I don't know that they have the personnel to be the best rebounding team in the WNBA. But
they could have been a better one though.
Effort is there. To your point, effort. You've been on this from week one. Effort is a big thing. And I actually asked Flage. No, excuse me. I asked Awa about that, about defense being an attitude, and you know, obviously she agreed 100% that it's an attitude. And I was talking to her about everything else she does well. What part of her game could she improve on? And for me, it's defense and rebounding. But I asked her specifically about the rebounding and the willingness to block shots. And she's like, I want to block shots. I want to play defense. I get invigorated by blocking shots. So impressive. I got an interview I got to put out in the ether here pretty soon. I got to edit the darn thing.
So a quick question, and I know that maybe you guys will have this answer. Does every team have one representative?
No.
All
right. Only because as I look, there is they show the whole team here, at least that side, where it says Jackie Young from the Aces, Angel Reese, Aisha Gray, and Ryan Howard from the Dream, Jonquel Jones from the Liberty, Courtney Williams from the Lynx, Kiki Irfan, and Sonia Clifton from the Mystics.
I mean, there may be someone from every team, but it's not a requirement.
Okay, it looks like every team is represented here, and I was surprised because
you got Golden State and Portland on there. You got Golden State and Portland on there.
Oh, because Gabby made it from Golden State.
Gabby did make it. Yeah, Gabby made it from Golden State, but somebody from Portland make it on there. Number 3, maybe Barker Smith, Barker something, Barker Johnson. Number 3, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not then, because it's like Aces, Dream, Liberty, Lynx, Mystics, Sparks, Tempo, and Storm.
Oh, then
yeah. The fire didn't. Nobody on the fire made it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think everybody I don't think they were forced to have. This ain't Major League Baseball, man, where they make the Mariners throw somebody into the All-Star game, and the Mariners are 20-45. Like, no, this ain't that pansy sport.
You sound bitter about that,
right?
I mean, I grew up in Seattle. I'm not a baseball fan. I'm not a Major League Baseball fan. Blame the sorry Mariners. Blame the sorry Mariners for that.
You can have a bad team and have a good player. Like, there's plenty of bad teams that have a good player.
When I was living in Seattle, well, I'm living in Seattle now, but up until 1991, there was very little interest in my world for anybody going to the Mariners game. In fact,
till 91, there wasn't a lot to watch when it came to.
That's my point. That's my point exactly. Shame on them. I blame the Mariners for me not being a baseball fan.
All right. Well, there you go. And then they took your Sonics away.
Yeah.
Way to be that guy.
Well, I left before the Sonics left, so I can't be that. I can't be that mad. And then when they give you $50 million just to consider moving your team, that's something we all would look at.
Well, especially since the city wasn't letting anything happen with the stadium. So
I tell you, for $50 million, I may become the Cleveland sports guy or Detroit sports guy.
For real.
Yeah.
$50 million would give me a whole different attitude.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 50 mil.
That's an awful lot of zeros.
Right?
So how much they got to pay you to actually like Jaylen Brown? To change your tune on Jaylen Brown?
I tell you, you were the first person that came to my mind the moment I heard this trade. I literally did not hear it right away. I was told about it as I was going in to watch a USA game. And as I was going into the casino, I was waiting for my escort. And the guy's like, "Hey, did you hear about the trade today?" I'm like, "What trade?" They got Jaylen Brown from Boston. I'm like, "Really? Who'd they give up?" And then, of course, I looked at it, and I thought that it was Embiid because we talked about that.
Yep.
That it was going to be. I thought maybe Embiid was going for. No, even better. They got rid of. It was just that's a complete. I mean. Yeah, I'll give him 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds and that contract to get Jaylen Brown every time. What did you think about the trade?
I've been a big fan of Brad Stevens. Been a big fan of Brad Stevens. When he left Butler, he turned those guys around right away as a head coach. When he moved up into the front office, I didn't understand it. I was like, "What are you doing?" Apparently, he didn't like the everyday rigors of the coaching and thought the front office would be better. I didn't understand why he went from coaching to the front office. Okay, anyway, he goes to the coaching front office and they continue to win. They continue to build a team. Now, I wasn't the other thing I questioned was them bringing in Kristaps Porzingis, bringing him off of the scrap heap, bringing him into the team. He actually played not a lot of games, which they're gonna see from Paul George, but he played in some of the biggest games, and helped them win that championship. So kudos to Brad Stevens for winning. But this is the trading Paul George for Jaylen Brown. Brad, I tried to listen to that press conference yesterday. I wanted to listen. I wanted to give Brad some hope. I wanted to be on your side, Brad. I knew it was a dumb trade to begin with, and Brad said nothing that I can buy. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I can see it. I can understand how he would come to this conclusion. That was the stupidest trade I've seen in years. You trade a player 7 years younger. You trade an NBA All-Star MVP, excuse me, you traded NBA Finals MVP for a guy 7 years older in your conference to your division rival. Brad Stevens, come on, bro. Like I don't know what who was behind, who had a gun to his head or was behind him saying you got to make this move. Brad, that was the worst deal you done, but big guy. That
See,
was
now
horrible.
that's so now okay. Now hearing all of that, and then hearing what I've been hearing about the way the Boston Celtics are now owned. Do you feel that this was an ownership move
The owner
due
said
to
the owner said no. The owner said it wasn't. Do I believe that? No. But the owner said no. But then they danced around the optionality was a word that he used a lot. Brad Stevens did. They said it was they just couldn't see paying having two players take up 70% of their salary cap. That makes sense. However, you don't trade Jaylen Brown to the 76ers if you're the Boston Celtics. Like Brad, Brad, do you know who your rival is in the division, Brad? Brad, do you know he knows it, he recognizes it. Yeah, it was harder to accept trading them to a team that just knocked us out the playoffs. Brad, well, what are you doing, Brad? That told me a couple things.
They wanted him out of the building at all costs. That's what that tells you.
Even worse than that, Bo, and I hate to say this, but the reputation of Jaylen Brown was completely soiled. Brad, that was dumb. I would not have traded him if that was the best offer I had on the table. That could have waited. Philly would have gave you that at the beginning of the season. Philly would have gave you that in February. I don't know what. Maybe you guys can help me out to understand what Brad Stevens was thinking, because that was a terrible trade.
it almost sounds to me. I mean, not for nothing, is that they needed to get him out right away.
Yeah,
like that they made those decisions a little on the rash side, because from what I understand, like there were reports that came out after the fact that there was higher offers, but they started the conversation with the Sixers, and ultimately it was, hey, the Sixers kept lowering the price even a little bit. Like,
yeah, why would you? I would have threw Embiid in if I was the Sixers. I would have threw Embiid in. I probably would have started there, because Embiid is a weight now. Embiid is an anchor. Like if you get some good games if you get 1 out of 4 games, 1 out of 5 games out of Embiid, that would be impressive. But I think Embiid's an anchor now. I would try to shop Embiid. I would try to shop him. And you're not what do they say? Addition by subtraction. It's hard to say that with Embiid with his talent if he's healthy. But I would try to trade him. I would try to trade him just because I haven't seen the health. Just because I haven't seen the consistency of health. And shoot, you get some of that money back. I mean, I would try to trade it. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I understand, but you're going to wind up having to take on money, which means that you would have to take on an expiring contract of some sort, and you're going to wind up with that piece of an expiring contract at that moment in time, and it's like you got to wait for the year, and it almost becomes a dead year. Mm-hmm. I think about it the other way. Now, there's been rumors about LeBron James potentially coming to Philadelphia. And I know that I've heard bigger rumors that this is a father-son. You have to take them both.
I did hear that too.
The case. You know for a fact that's the case.
But he signed with the Lakers, though.
That doesn't matter. The NBA tells you contracts don't matter. You can have KD sign a supermax and then figure out how to get himself off a team that next year.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
So there's a piece of me. I know that he was just in the Philadelphia area playing golf. You know, it's like that was reported. I know he was making a joke about, Kevin Hart and getting him like these, these micro-sized golf clubs and stuff like that. But that being said, if when I start to actually think about the Sixers and if he would be a piece that could fit here, I see him as the sixth man. And then I think about all of the different awards he's won, and he's never been a sixth man.
You think LeBron's gonna be a sixth man?
Oh no, I don't know about that. That's your response is exactly what I've been getting from everybody. That's the response that everybody gives.
That means you need to stop. Don't stop saying that, bro. Stop putting that out there. Stop putting that out there, man. Just stop it. Cut it out. Come on.
Well,
man.
That's the only way that I could see him really being on this team. I mean, you could maybe move. See, I'm not sure who else you put.
I'm glad you're not the GM. I'm glad you're not the GM saying LeBron being a sixth man is the only way that he can fit on the Phillies. That's absolutely hysterical.
Yeah, he's never going to fit on the Phillies. He doesn't bat a high enough batting average.
Neither do I. You know what I'm talking about on the Sixers.
But that being said, do I see him starting in the 4 spot? No.
Where else? Why not? Who are you going to start on this 4 spot over LeBron James? If he were on your team, who would you start on the 4 over LeBron James?
I don't know. That's okay. I guess that's the thought process there.
Please, Mr. Philly guy, do not ever mention putting LeBron on the LeBron being your sixth man. Just don't do it. Okay, don't do that again. LeBron will come
either
in
way. I
instantly.
See with this trade, they are now very guard heavy, which means that they are going to have to play 3 guards, 3 guards and 2 bigs.
Yes.
And that's where I felt that the sixth man, LeBron coming in as the sixth guy, he would be the first person to come in and be a power forward.
Cut that out, man. You don't even sound. Stop, please. I'm warning you. Don't mention LeBron and the sixth man again.
Yeah, but you said the same thing about me talking about Jaylen Brown coming to Philadelphia.
And it was preposterous. Just as you know, you getting Jaylen Brown was an act of desperation from Brad Stevens.
but I was right.
I can't give you any credit for one of the wildest trades in NBA history. I'm not giving you no credit for that. But
listen, I said that it was possible he was coming to Philly, and
it's not, and I'll tell you, I'll help you out here. It's not possible that Braun comes to Philly and is your sixth man. Okay, that's not possible. Why in the world would LeBron James leave Southern California to go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and be a sixth man there? Cut it out. That doesn't make no sense.
The one reason there's only one reason why I would say that.
There's no reason
to win the ring.
Zero
to win the ring.
No, that's
everywhere, exactly every place that LeBron has gone, every place he's gone, he's won a ring.
And your point is?
Well, if he was to come to Philadelphia, it's the only reason why he would come here is to win a ring.
Who do you think on the Philadelphia 76ers is LeBron is gonna come on, man? LeBron going to Miami wouldn't relieve. It was hard to relinquish the reins to Dwayne Wade. You think who on the Philadelphia Sixers equivalates to Dwayne Wade? He's not releasing them away to Maxey. He's not doing it to VJ Escom. He's not giving away to Jaylen Brown. He's not giving away to Joel Embiid. Who do you expect to put LeBron James on the bench, man? Come on, be for real. We're talking about LeBron James, and I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. I know I'm coming off differently, but gee whiz. LeBron.
Hey, listen, I'll be honest with you. There isn't anybody that I can put in front of him.
So help me out. So help me out. Why then would LeBron James come off the bench? He had a tough time.
Yes, but I only see him putting in 24 minutes. But no. I listen. I see it. I see him only in 24 minutes.
I'm not mad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad. I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm not a Philadelphia fan. I'm just saying that point makes zero sense. Zip. Zero.
Listen, they got this guy from Cleveland, who's supposed to be a forward. I know that he was the one that came here, said that he thought that his skills matched what the Sixers were doing. As of right this second, I got to imagine he is in the 4 spot right now as we speak today. that he's going to be the one that takes over that 4 spot, because I just don't see anybody else. There's nobody else that we have that's going to play over that guy. You know what I mean? And like I said, we're very guard heavy. So I see us playing 3 guards.
Yes,
3 guards.
And Embiid lumbering up and down the court. Yes, that's going to be your lineup. Yes, let the young guys run. Another thing, I don't think LeBron would go to the play. I know he has a good relationship with Maxey. I think Maxey's he's a New Balance guy, but apparently he has a good relationship. No, I was thinking Maxey was a Clutch guy because I was thinking about their relationship, but Maxey's a New Balance guy. I just had it before I say that. I wanted to correct that, but I understand they have a great relationship. I don't see that as the draw for LeBron James in his final year. I would see him going to play with Golden State. I don't think that would work, but I would see that be a much more beneficial fit for him, because now he's playing with older guys. Now he's playing with more of his contemporaries. If he went to Philly, he'd have to obviously learn these new guys. They have to learn him. I think that'll be more of a challenge. I see him going back to Cleveland, which he's kind of in that a very similar situation, because he's going to be playing with guys he's not familiar with playing with in Cleveland. But that's the overarching story. I think it's a better story with him returning back home.
Right.
So I think it's down to Cleveland and Golden State. Philly is an option. He's not coming off the bench though, big guy. But it's about learning to play with new guys. And I don't know how many times you've been in Southern California in February, bro. It's a little different than Philly. Oh,
hell yeah. It's cold in Philly. Trust me, I know. I live here. And the only, like I said, here's what I look at it as, and here is my reasoning. And my reasoning, hey, listen, I will tell you that you know more about basketball than I do, so I will give that up to you, Cam. But I look at it as, if he is doing things for the ego alone, the 6th man award is the only award he has not won. Correct?
Please, man, please stop that. You're insulting the guy's career.
I'm not trying to. To be honest,
you're not trying
to. He's 42 years old. He's 42 years old, and I'm still putting him.
He shouldn't be playing. He should not be playing. He shouldn't be, by all accounts in the history of the game. He should not be playing anymore. Yeah. We got it. But he's not. He's a different 42-year-old. Like, he's still. Come on, man. Cut it out with the 6th man, bro.
I'm just giving you where I came from with that. I'm not trying to.
Damn, let him finish his thought. Come on, man.
I'm just giving you where that thought came from. That's it. That's all it is. That's where it came from. I'm not telling you that I'm right, and I'm not telling you. Listen, that's why I defer to you, because I know that you know more about basketball than I do.
If you really truly believe what you just said, listen to me when I tell you, do not mention that guy in the 6th man role ever again. It just doesn't. It doesn't represent you well. It doesn't represent you well. You can be as wrong as you want to be. I'm just telling you, for your sake, it doesn't represent you well when you keep bringing that up.
Right. Well, then, so going backwards then, and taking LeBron out of the mix, I feel that the Sixers are a 6th man of the year award winner away from being the top seed in the East, as constructed right now, with Embiid playing 25 minutes a game for 60 games.
Okay. I mean, that's
what guy do you feel? Yeah, it's. I know we're putting a lot of ifs here and stuff like that. What player do you see that could fit into that role?
I mean, I'd have to. Let me see. Let me do this here. Let me go to the glasses, and I'm gonna pull up a legitimate list for you.
Because I feel like that's what we're going to be at.
I haven't gave that any consideration, actually. a power forward role for the Sixers is not crossed my mind. I'm sorry, it's not crossed my purview. But let me see who's out here. Jalen Duren is a player that I don't think they're going to get, but that's a decent fit for them guys. That would be one. Rui Hachimura just signed with the Clippers. Jeff Green, you guys can use. Jonathan. Now, okay, you've admitted you're not a huge basketball fan, but I like to bowl. Maybe you know what is going on with Jonathan Kuminga. Like, I thought it was Golden State didn't play him. Then he goes to Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't pick up the option. I don't know. You know who? Here's a name right here. Perfect. This guy.
It makes you wonder if there's a personality issue there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching that in the WNBA with Kennedy Carter too, because she's a talent, but she just got released by the Aces. So I mean, sometimes personality has you on the outside.
Yeah, she said just recently, what was it, a couple nights ago? She said something like she's not feeling the love that she wants, that she expected to feel. And there you go. That's what you get.
There you go. You can feel the love all by yourself.
So here's a name that I would target, Philly guy. Here's a name. I would go after Jeremy Sohan. That's who I would target. He used to play for the Spurs. He was he just won a ring for the Knicks. So now he has that experience. I would go after Jeremy Sohan, but I don't think the Knicks are going to re-sign. I doubt they're going to re-sign him. But I would go after him, put him as power forward. He played with he was with the Spurs Wemby's first year and part of last year until he got traded.
And then wound up winning the ring with the Knicks.
Why not winning the ring with the Knicks? I mean, he's a power forward, not a scorer. He's a rebounder, gritty guy, gritty role player type of guy. That's exactly who I would pick up for Sohan or for the Sixers. Yeah, I would go after that guy. I mean, there's so many centers out there. Mason Plumlee, Yusuf Nurkic got signed. I really believe if you went focused on Jalen Green, Maxey, and Edgecombe and just let them roll, just roll the ball out there and let them go, I really believe you could play with a Bismack Biyombo. I really believe you can play with a Mason Plumlee. That's who I would target. When I say get rid of Bede, I'm targeting one of those third-tier big men. You're not going to have Embiid brings a lot to the game. He can't score when he's healthy. He is 7'1", so he can play some defense. He can get in somebody's way. That's a nice size and talent to have. However, just what I've gotten from Embiid to this point, is you have to be disappointed. And why continue to go down that path when you have Maxey, Edgecombe, and now Jaylen Brown? I'm going guard heavy. We're running you guys out the gym. I'm trying to bring in one of these lower name centers who can just keep up. I want somebody who can keep up. And Mason Plumlee is going to block some shots. He's going to a big body get in somebody's way. Same with Bismack Biyombo, a little less mobile, but he's a big body. He's going to get in somebody's way. That's the route I will go, and just let those guys run with the 3-guard rotation, because you're going to have the fastest pace in the league. You should anyway. Embiid at this point is slowing you down, in my opinion.
Of course, we do have a new prop bet coming across, and you can bet right alongside us here on whether or not Cam has an aneurysm if LeBron comes off the bench.
Just to be clear, I could care less about LeBron coming off the bench and what the 76ers do. I'm just trying to look out for my guy and saying mentioning LeBron coming off the bench does not suit you well. That's all. That's the large point here.
And does Jaylen Brown fill the 2 or the 3? And I guess he's just naturally going to be a 3. because
Yeah, I'm
he's
gonna
going
put
to
him at the
play that
3. Yeah,
forward position. I mean,
yeah,
it's like
yeah. I put him
it's
at. I
just
put him
how
at
it's going
the.
to have to be.
I'm gonna put him at the 3. I want those 3 guys to play together. I want Maxey, Edgecombe, and Brown to play together. So I don't want to, I want to let Maxey run. I want to let Maxey run. And Edgecombe, I'm not sure how good of a defender Edgecombe is. So Brown probably would take that best guard or forward, whoever you're playing against, would be my speculation. And then Edgecombe 2, and then Maxey is going to take the least threat of the 3. Yes.
Yeah, because actually, I actually would think that it goes the opposite way. Edgecombe was taking the number 1 guy most of the time. Okay. So he was probably the better defender out of that. So I'm not sure if that means that. Again, not knowing enough about Jaylen Brown's defense side of his game.
Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP because of his defense.
Okay, well then that's the case. It'll be good because I mean, as a whole, the Sixers defense struggled. That's
changed. That's going to change. That's no more. And then you got to look at, you had this lumbering big guy who really couldn't defend anybody because he was often hurt, because he's often, let me conserve my energy for the offense side of the ball. I mean, I'm trying to divorce myself from that history. You got a new history that fell in your lap. We got to focus on this new regime that we got. We got to focus on this and let some of that old Sixers, what do they call it? That process is gone. That process is out.
I agree with you. Yeah. It never worked. And it's gone. That's why I want an Angel Reese. I want an Angel Reese under the basket. And that's who I want. I want somebody who could get rebounds. That's what I want. I want this person to get 6 to 7 offensive rebounds a game and get 12 to 15 rebounds. I don't care if he's not scoring points. I want this person to be able to get rebounds. That's what I want as my number 4, because my number 5 is not playing true center. He's playing guard center. You know what I mean? He's playing out from the outside. He's not under the basket. He's not scoring from the paint. I want somebody in the paint who's going to be able to do that and solve those problems. And if we could find that person, I think that even though Miami got a lot better, I feel Boston is definitely taking a step backwards. That Cavaliers just signed what's his name for like $300 billion. You know what I mean?
I think that was to open up. I think that was to open up a spot for the small forward coming off the bench. I think that was to open up for the spot. So Braun might be coming off the bench in Cleveland. I don't know with this philosophy you've introduced today. Braun may be coming off the bench in Cleveland. Who knows? I think that's going to be the better. That's going to be the better spot for LeBron is going to Cleveland.
That seems like the most likely spot.
And it's going to. Truth of the matter is that I think that either way, it's the Sun. It's how much you're going to pay the Sun in the process of that. Well, I don't care if he's the 11th or 12th player.
I think he's locked into a contract, though. I think he's locked into a contract.
Yeah, but the contract doesn't mean that you're stuck on that team. What it means is somebody's going to pay you the. I forget what it was. It's like $2.5 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So
someone's going to have to buy that.
Yeah.
And isn't it getting very? Aren't we much closer to his other son, who actually has the more talent coming out?
What, a year?
Who walked off of Arizona? He walked off of Arizona. That's what you're talking about. He was on He was Bryce. He was on Arizona team.
Yeah.
But when they got knocked out of the tournament, when they got knocked out of the tournament, I think he left Arizona. He walked out of Arizona. So I don't know.
Yeah,
what that
that's
says
no good either.
Yeah, I don't know what that says.
I do believe he's a year away still.
Well, he needs to be on the team. He walked away from Arizona, so like he might be in the draft this year. Who knows? I don't know. But there are players out there that can get the Sixers can pick up to play their power forward position. I just mentioned a couple: Bismack Biyombo, Mason Plumlee, Larry Nance Jr. is still hanging around. That's he's a rebounder. That's all you're looking for out of that role. And I let this youth movement begin in Philadelphia. That's
Hey,
what
I'm game for that. Actually, Bryce has just turned 18.
But
So
he was in
I'm not
Arizona,
sure if
right?
he was.
He was
It
in
doesn't
Arizona,
say
correct?
that. I think he was still in high school.
I think he was a part of the Arizona Wildcats. In fact, I'm pretty certain he was. I'll need to look that up.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now.
I'll need to look that up. Can I ask you guys a question? This is about the World Cup. I actually watch all of the American game. I try to watch. Who did I try to watch? Neymar. Was Neymar?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that U.S. game was rough.
What happened, guys? What happened there? They came out.
The defense was awesome.
The defense from those guys, they look. I can't. I don't know enough about soccer to say.
I will tell you
they had
if
the
you want my
momentum or
opinion.
anything. Yeah,
We haven't spoken about it.
I thought they the Belgian team hustled much more than the men's team, the U.S. men's team. I can't say, I don't know. I'm not understanding the plays, how they set things up, but I know that first goal when the ball was. It was like a pop fly that the catcher, the first baseman, the second baseman, and the pitcher were all looking at, and it dropped in between. And the Belgian guy just ran up and said, "Okay, you guys don't want it? I'll kick it." He tapped it to himself, then he made a goal. It looked like the guys were just standing around watching, like that looked like a hustle play to me. Was that first goal a hustle play, guys?
Yeah, it's funny because I sent Pags a text saying they look like they forgot how to play soccer.
Yeah, there were a few things I thought of. Yes, that was a hustle play. Listen, there are certain things about soccer that sometimes it's being at the right place at the right time, and the defense was out of position a couple of different times. And I will say that as a whole, Team USA needed to play in open space, and Belgium did not give them any. So they in closed space, they were having different problems. Like they just couldn't deal with it the way that they were able to deal with it in earlier games. There were a few things that I think happened specifically that created the situation. I think that you had a very pissed off Belgian team because of the suspension on the red card.
Mm-hmm.
And
where do you guys stand on that? I don't think we've spoken on that. Was that a legitimate? Was that deserving of a red card? And then should the red card has been rescinded or suspended, as they put it?
So, no, I don't believe that it should have been a red card. And the way that they got to that red card, I felt was not in accordance with how they should have, and the way that they should have, and the way they have the rules set up. That being said, the red card was issued. So once the red card's issued, they needed to stick with it. And I feel that, so they give him the red card. USA starts and creates plans for them to not play with Flo Balogun. And my thought is that, listen, Flo is a good player. He is not Messi. He is not Ronaldo. He is not Mbappe. You know what I mean? So, and I felt that the moment that they rescinded the suspension on the red card, or for him to be suspended for that one game, and they moved it for a different time, they put him into that same category. And I feel that there was way too much pressure.
How do you feel that rescinding the red flag put him in elevate his category?
Because that was the same problem with Ronaldo. Ronaldo had he had the suspension lifted for him to be able to play in this World Cup. Messi did the same thing twice and never even got a foul called on him.
Yeah.
There are certain,
but help me understand how you saying that them rescinding that red card elevated boy into a different category. How does that?
I think that they were planning to play without him, and the moment that they gave the okay for him to play, it was almost like they were inserting Messi into the lineup, and he wasn't Messi. That's what I'm talking about. He doesn't have those skills, but I feel like if you watch the way USA played, that was how they played. I feel like that they put way too much pressure on him, and he's not that guy. He was a good player, against certain teams, and had they just said, okay, we're going to not play with him this time, we're going to allow him to sit out this game, I feel that the game would have gone much, much differently. I think that the U.S. relaxed a little bit the moment that he was given the go-ahead to play. And I think that they put, like I said, he scored a couple of goals. He scored more goals that were disallowed. And I felt that the team, as they played this game, relied on him to be able to do things that he was unable to perform.
Sure.
So yes, I'm not equating him. I'm not putting him on the same scale as Messi. I'm looking at it as if the team kind of put that type of weight on him that was unnecessary. And they played it like that. They played as such. The third goal was horrible. Horrible.
I never heard. With all due respect, I never heard of Balogun. I never heard of my man before.
Flo Balogun, yeah, he was.
He actually was not. But I have heard of that guy Pulisic. I have heard his name bouncing around and how he's supposed to be the next Wonder Boy. And far be it from me to say that the guy pissed his career down the drain, but when he kicks the ground and then calls out of the game immediately after they go up 2 goals, like if you're supposed to be the star of the game and the star of the team, and we go down by 2 and now you went out the game, that showed very little heart to me, very little competitive spirit to me. And for my first time watching this guy, actually watching the full game, I was disappointed. I'm wondering where all the praise is for this dude who, taps his head and say, I want to come out the game because they go down 2-0.
That wasn't really the case, obviously. And he's been playing with the groin. He's been playing with the groin injury the entire World Cup. So when he did that kick, he didn't kick the ball. He actually kicked the guy's ankle, and like he twisted his leg in the process of that. He aggravated it. You could tell he couldn't run anymore, and that's why they pulled him out. They needed now speed, and they didn't have it from him, so he couldn't be. He was actually a detriment to the team. So that's why they pulled him out. I agree with that part. Wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
He was a detriment. I agree with that.
But I feel like, yes, I think they came out soft. The Team USA came out soft. I think that you had pissed the Belgians off by having this whole thing figure out, and they came out, loaded to bear.
Yeah, they came out ready to rock.
Yeah. And that's what happened. And then ultimately, like I said, when you had that third goal go in, that when and it's Delco's zone, and he decided to pull a coup where he kicks the ground instead of kicking the ball. Had he just kicked it off to the side, like they done a throw in, it'd have been a different scenario. But the fact that they did that, and like I said, it's the second time I've ever watched a goal scored that way. the first time was against the Union by Messi himself, where the goalie came way out and he just kicked it over his head and the ball bounced in. And that's kind of what happened here. It just like, the defender that was back there wasn't going to do anything.
He whiffed too. The defender whiffed too.
Well, he actually got a leg on it, but it didn't matter. It didn't deflect it enough.
Yeah.
And
then the team deflated after that. Like you could see 100%. The energy level went down. I mean, not that Belgium was giving them any room to work anyway. Right. I mean, they were really struggling to move the ball. So it was impressive effort by Belgium. Like they came out ready, and the U.S. acted like they'd already won it.
Really? So why is the men's team historically so terrible? Why is that? The women's are being able to win. Why is the men's team so terrible?
The world's men's teams are better.
Much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, South American teams are playing 24/7. Their governments actually put them into those positions and pay for them to be there and such like that. Let me tell you, Brazil going back, as when they got upset by Norway, and the truth of the matter is that Norway is a very, very good team and along the same lines as Brazil. So Brazil didn't lose, like they didn't just roll over and lose. They wound up, getting beat by a really good team. That being said, they went back there. It's like one of the first times that they've lost in the round of 16, and they are like devastated. That whole country is devastated. Mm-hmm. Uruguay, they didn't even allow them to, like, they're like, no, you guys don't even come back. You guys couldn't make it to the round of 32. You figure out your own way home. I think that some of the players are still stuck here. They haven't figured out how to get home yet because they made him go coach instead of the charter flight. They canceled the charter flight on him.
And not only that, but you had to secure your own ticket. So like it was just like, man, that is brutal. And no, Mexico is out. All the host countries are out.
Yeah, every one of them lost in the round of 16. And it's Mexico. Mexico, I actually was surprised. They came out as flat as they did. Mm-hmm. I thought that that when they let up that first goal, it was like, uh-oh. And then they played, tight, very tight. And then they scored their goal. It was like 2-1, and then it was 3-1. And that was when England only had 10 players that they were given the red card and only had 10 players, and then scored the third goal. Mexico was like, uh-oh, we're in trouble here. And that's, they even gave them 11 minutes of extra time, and they still couldn't score the goal. It was, these were good games this week. The USA game was the worst of them all.
Yeah, that one was a rough game. It was ugly from the beginning. And then as soon as that third goal hit, like I watched the rest of it, but I didn't need to.
Right.
Like you could see the energy level. Obviously the coach was already mentally in a different spot after that second goal. He's kicking the water buckets or, the water jugs. And, he even seemed like he was unable to figure out how to get his team back on course.
That was the toughest goal to watch, the second goal, because it went through. That was bad defense in general. You just scored a goal. Now you got them. You're a little bit on the defensive, and it was like the defense was so far out of position, the same exact way they scored the first goal. Yep. They did the exact same play, and they scored on it twice. And it was both times the defense were in exactly the same position, and it was frustrating to watch. But hey, it's this is part of what's going on. Like I said, I felt that the USA may have been better suited not to have Balogun play and, kind of just leave well enough alone. I think the game would have been much more contentious. I feel like the USA would have played harder
Yes.
because he wasn't on there. And that, him coming back gave that collective sigh of relief as a team that they didn't deserve to get.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the look for FIFA in general, right? Like once you issued it, I thought you had to stand by it. Like I didn't like the red card to begin with. I thought it would have been a yellow, right? Which would have made sense. Incidental contact, but they issued the red. And to your point, like I think they should have stuck by that. I think the stat I read was the last time they overturned a red card like that was like in 1964. So, it's been a minute.
Right.
So it wasn't a great look. And then, I think the US was like, oh, everyone's talking about him as a superstar. So now in our minds, our superstar is back. We should be fine. And I mean, they came out flat. They lacked energy. They couldn't keep up with the pace. They give up a goal. They answer finally, and then less than a minute later, they give that goal back. It was a tough one to watch. And then that third one was just horrible.
The third one was the icing on the cake. The fourth one, the guy who scored that goal he's a great player, and you could tell he's one of those ones that are like he only plays 15 minutes a game anymore because he's older. And, he's on the team as more like the captain than anything else. He's not really the guy, but a great player. And then to score that fourth goal just shows, again, it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time with a team that had no longer any interest in playing the game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, at that point, the U.S. looked like they were done. They were just waiting for the clock to run out. So were the people watching.
So who's
going
to win this?
Level drop, you're like, ah.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win the World Cup? Is Messi going to win it again?
Well, they got him as the darling right now. I mean, they're doing everything they can for him. Spain has not let up a goal yet. That's a tough team. Morocco is got, they feel like that they were cheated 4 years ago, and that they are coming for blood. I tell you, it's going to be fun to watch. I like Norway. This guy from Norway, this Erling Haaland. I tell you, that guy, he came to the U.S. a couple of years ago and took a linebacker class. He worked with Ray Lewis and the Ravens and learned how to move like a linebacker rather than a regular football player. He's a big dude anyways. But if you just take the, players themselves right now, I think he's the best player on, in the World Cup right this very second. Messi scoring a lot of goals, I get it, but this guy is the best player, but he plays for Norway right now. And when you have the best player on your team, there's good chances that you're going to win. And that's what it's going to come down to. If it's Norway versus Argentina, you're going to see a great match between Messi and this Erling Haaland.
Okay, I got another question. This is a question watching the game, watching the two games when America played on Monday. What's today? Wednesday. When America played on Monday afternoon, they were playing here in Seattle. The temperature, I think, was 76 degrees, I think it was. And the other guys were playing in Florida, in Miami. I'm having a brain fart who was actually playing. Messi was playing. Who did Messi play?
Egypt.
Egypt. In 95 degrees, 95% humidity in Florida, in South Florida.
Yeah.
How is it? How have the other World Cups game? Because I don't think it's fair for a team to play in Florida in that heat and humidity in Florida, advancing to the same next round as a team playing in Seattle, Washington on that same day. Like those playing surfaces no playing conditions are not the same.
That happens in every sport, man.
Yeah, but then you also had Mexico going up against, in Mexico City,
Ecuador and Mexico City. Yeah,
that was against England, and they went at that elevation, and such like that. So in that heat as well, and England wound up winning it. They beat the host nation. So that's kind of what goes on here. It's like sometimes then they got the guys playing in Dallas that they're playing in air conditioning.
Exactly.
And the guys played in Atlanta.
Besides, you can't tell me
even playing field. That doesn't seem like an even playing field.
You can't tell me Egypt isn't equipped to play in the heat.
Well,
Egypt should have won that game.
Yeah,
Egypt, they got the pucker. Yeah, that was a shame. Egypt got the pucker. They could have won that game. They could have beaten Argentina.
So are all the other World Cup games spread out to where they're playing in different climates like this? Is this a thing every year?
Yeah, I mean, when they play
Miami, Los Angeles, and Boston, those are the next games.
When they play in, like Europe and stuff, like temperatures range a ton too.
Well, 4 years ago, they played in Dubai, and they built a whole bunch of different stadiums out there, or it was Kuwait, or it was somewhere in one of that. Yeah. And so they built those stadiums. It was all hot everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. If everybody played in 105 degrees, it's a moot point. But when I'm watching the TV, I'm watching USA play in Seattle, Washington, and I'm watching the other team play in Miami, Florida. Like, I don't know if you guys been in those climates. It's dramatically different. Like they're not even similar. In no way is it similar.
And I get it. The game that was played in Philadelphia, we had the high, like the worst heat wave that we've had in like 30 some years, where it was like record days of 100+ degrees for like 3 and 4 days in a row. And with the heavy humidity and everything. So I get it.
What I'm saying, if everybody's playing in the Northeast in those stadiums, they all are dealing with the similar climate, right? Everybody's playing with that similar climate with the teams. This is what I don't know. When they play in the World Cup, you say everybody played in Qatar, relatively having to deal with the same temperature. I mean, that's understandable.
The team you're playing is dealing with the exact same scenario you are. So
yeah, yes, I understand that, Bo. That's too
well, no,
easy,
but
Come
but
on, man.
think,
let's
think about it.
Let's go a little deeper, Bo.
Think about it with the NFL. Think about it with the NFL. It's still warm in Florida when it's snowing in Jersey.
Yeah, but your team, you're playing a home field advantage. You've earned that home field advantage in the playoffs. In the World Cup, you're scheduling the game in Seattle and one in Florida. The climates are not the same. I don't know if this is
and they gave us the home field advantage.
Yeah.
It just didn't help us.
Regardless of where they played, it's playing in America. It would have been a home field advantage. I just don't know. My question is strictly on the temperature, strictly on the different climates that they're playing. I don't know the World Cup enough to say that this is abnormal, but I know a team playing. You got the team playing and playing towards playoff or championship contention is not a game played in Florida is not the same as a game played in Washington. That's my point.
You're right. You're right. And FIFA doesn't care because they raised lots of money.
Yeah, you could say that same thing about playing in London versus Spain. Spain's gonna be hotter.
Right.
You're missing what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. There's nothing we could do. FIFA had claimed these stadiums, and when they played in Vancouver, I'm sure it was cooler up there. So is what it is.
That being said, that does get us to the top of the show. We got to get out of here up against it time-wise. If you've been watching along with us, be sure to like and subscribe. And, of course, if you are listening on the radio, 97.3, we do have some smooth jazz headed your way. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Cam, see you next week. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.
Have a good one, man.